the secrets to building biceps. Now, Chris here wants to know because his 4-year-old daughter is making fun of him that her biceps are bigger than his. So what do you want to know about building biceps, Chris?
Well, basically, how to get width and also separation, because that's the main thing I notice is the width in particular, how to get more width.
And we're doing this with Kai Greene in the background, so we're inspired by some of the best biceps in the world in the same room as us right now. So, but Trevor, you're still the expert because you got the microphone.
So for the width, one of the biggest things right here is your brachialis. And when you stand to the side, that brachialis sticks out the side as well. It's a little illusional trick too. So building that brachialis we'll get to in a minute, but that's something just, keep in the back of your head. But you have two parts of your biceps. You'll see the split. You have your inner, your outer to make it very simple on your bicep. So a lot of times when we do like the arm workout video, you can see the split here.
I'm already at the top of my weight division. All I can do is improve a couple weak spots, like get the 3-dimensional triceps, make my biceps pop. On the peak, here's been my problem. My forearms are extremely well developed, very strong, very big. They overpower my biceps. Everybody's always telling me to do hammer curls or something else that hits this right here, because then it hits the brachialis and pops out. But guess what? It's not working for me because this muscle overpowers it, and then my bicep peak never hits full contraction. Trevor, watch this and tell me if I'm crazy, if I just finally figured out the secret. And actually, someone told me this before, I just didn't listen. But what I'm doing is I'm putting my wrist back. Look at that. Instead of curling like this, I start activating that. But if I left my wrist hang completely, look, this is loose. I'm not flexing my forearm at all. And then when I pull, I'm only pulling with my bicep peak. It's contracting so hard, it's actually cramping at the tip. Like I feel like I want to stop because of the cramping, not even because of failure.
There's different ways to hit each head. Now, variations of every type of curl. One is we'll keep our elbows inside and we'll put our hands out wide. By doing that, we can hit that belly really nice. And on contrary, elbows out, hands in, and you can really concentrate right there on squeezing just the peak of the muscle. And little tricks for the peak, keeping your hand down for gravity reasons. But that way you have two different splits, right? So you're gonna work your outer head and work that split here. And then by keeping it out, you're going to work the belly. So in turn, even though your belly might be the thickest part of your bicep, which is the width, that's when you want to focus on the most for the width. But you can't ignore the outer head as well. Otherwise, you're going to have that slant, and you're only going to have half a bicep. So working on both, and all it is taking each one to failure, like I always talk about. So you get to your third or fourth set of whatever motion it is, and just go into failure. Take it to failure. And when you're done there on that one, you did everything you could. You go into your next head. And then you can get into things like your brachialis, and the reverse curls and ways to get that thickness even more so just by getting that 3-dimensional look. Because when that pops out, it blends in with your arm. Your arm looks that much wider.
When your hand is here, when you come up for your peak contraction, gravity already fought it. It's coming this way. Your bicep's doing nothing to hold it. When you're letting it hang, bicep has to hold the whole time. From bottom, I'm at peak contraction right now. And my entire bicep is contracting right now. If I come here, it falls off. Biceps no longer doing it.
So we can do this with concentration curls too, right?
Every single curl.
So let's see, if I come like this, and I let my wrist hang like that.
Lean forward a little more.
Lean forward, like this. And let my wrist hang. So let it hang and hang out, almost like the pinky's coming up too. One of the new buzzwords in training theory is nucleus overload, which is where you train the muscle every day. But aside from that theory, what do you think about training frequency for biceps? Does training frequency for biceps any different than other muscle groups of the body?
I think a little bit, and I say it with a smile on my face, because the best known for this with the biceps is the best known for actually saying to overtrain. And one of the things I really believed in is overtrain the bicep, because you can envision that mind to muscle connection. A lot of people will go through the motions, but a lot of times overtraining is a key principle in getting that development, the mind of the muscle, to that bicep to really contract. Otherwise, you just kind of go with movements, because you always see it. The more you can get in tune with the muscle, which is the more you work it out, the more you get in tune, and you can squeeze different fibers and change angles and watch your biceps change different shapes as you're lifting. So you can literally envision it as you lift. So I think biceps is one of the few, in terms of building muscle, there are pros and cons to it, but I think that mind-to-muscle connection, it's really funny that he's right there behind us and we're talking about that.
Any rope, cable, machine is going to stimulate a single muscle group better than what a dumbbell, barbell would ever do. That's why the trick question when Mio always talks about it, what's better for stimulating the bicep, barbell curl or machine curl? Same with chest press. It's always going to be a machine because it's direct. You're not fighting against gravity, your stabilizers aren't taking over. You're able to isolate a lot more, but it's always the same concept. Arnold talks about it with every movement.
Is soreness a good indicator of a good bicep workout? Do we have to be sore in order to make progress, or can you still gain muscle even if you're not sore from a workout?
No, it's that's just lactic acid buildup, and it's how your body deals and removes excess lactic acid. There's other factors of inflammation, though, inflammation that can cause it. So that's another thing. But for the most part, when people feel the pain, it's the lactic acid buildup, and your body just trying to get rid of it. Eventually, you get really good at it. It's not building up as much. You have to do things, occlusion training and different stuff to build up more lactic acid, or take supplements for that.
Do biceps respond better to a certain rep range, or is it the same as every other muscle in the body? Do they respond better to high reps, low reps, or is it the 12 to 15 that you usually do?
It's whatever you can get the best contraction. That's what I believe. I think there's a point, maybe 3 or 4 reps, 5 reps isn't the best thing for it, but whatever you can get that best and deepest contraction in your bicep in each head. And people think that just going heavy weight, but sometimes lightening that weight, you can get a little bit deeper contraction on certain heads at certain angles. So always keep that in mind, whatever the best contraction you can get is.
Another tip is you guys are probably doing basically the same arm workout every time. You think you're changing your grip. You think you're changing the machines you use. You think you're changing the rep speed. But if you work out with a coach, you have someone that's pushing you in a totally different style than you're training, that'll really bring some new stimulation to your muscle. And it'll teach you different ways to activate the muscle. So working out with someone else and following their arm routine is another tip. Do you have any comebacks for Chris with his daughter making fun of his arms?
Yeah, just fit it around her neck and give her a quick little,
A little chokehold. Be swell and swole, my friends of freedom, pioneers of human evolution.
Yeah, hundreds on my bed, flexing with the bill. Roses in my wallet and I'm flexing it for real. Racks on racks on racks, I look like rookie of the year. Frontin' with the cash, it's getting moody over here.